Hi everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet. Why don't we talk a little bit of yarn today? So today I wanted to do a video on an old, very old, classic yarn, good old-fashioned Red Heart Super Saver. Now, I get asked a lot, do I like Red Heart Super Saver? I get a lot of people tell me their opinions on Red Heart Super Saver. Good, bad, and then, in between. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about it, Okay, so Red Heart Super Saver, like I said, it's a classic yarn. It's been around for a very long time. When I first started to learn to crochet when I was 10, now granted that was, I'm 40, almost 44 years old here next week. That was a long time ago. And Red Heart Super Saver was just what I learned with. I mean, I loved it. That was when I was 10. Of course, that yarns nowadays, after all the years, have gotten very different. But Red Heart Super Saver, I think, is a yarn that has never gone out of style. And I think that it's a yarn that never will. It's one of those, it's been around, it's still here, and it's going to stick around to the end of time. I don't think it's ever going anywhere. Is that good or bad? That depends on who you ask. So, when we speak of Red Heart Super Saver, just, I'm speaking of not all Red Heart yarns. I'm speaking of their Super Saver varieties. Oh man, they got so many. I would say when it comes to color line, okay, first of all, Red Heart Super Saver, basic Red Heart Super Saver is a medium weight number 4 acrylic, 100% acrylic yarn. And it would be considered a value acrylic. It's inexpensive. This is a regular size ball. It has over 300 yards in it, I do believe. Yeah, 364. And you can get it relatively inexpensive. I think probably the cheapest place would be Walmart, but you can buy it pretty much anywhere. Any store imaginable has Red Heart Super Saver, because it is just like a staple in the yarn community. It's Red Heart Super Saver. All right, so when we're talking about Red Heart Super Saver, now the color line is probably bigger than any other variety of yarn that you can, as far as value acrylic goes. I'm certain that it has the largest. Not only does it not have the largest color line, it has a lot of different varieties of Super Saver. So we got solid Super Saver, like this one. We got variegated Super Savers. We got speckled flecked Super Saver. We got striped Super Saver. We got ombre Super Saver. We got the new speckled Super Saver. And I'm certain I'm probably missing some, but I think in total, certainly they would have, if you count all those varieties and all those different varieties, certain they would have, I know 100% they have well over 100 different colors. Any color that you could ever imagine, any color that you could ever want, any color, that you could think of. Red Heart has it in some form or another in Super Saver, whether it be their solids, variegated, stripes, flecked, ombre, speckled. They got it somewhere. They got it, and if they don't, they'll have it soon. I guarantee it. Because, like I said, it's never going to go anywhere. It's never going to go anywhere. Now, when I do yarn reviews, I always base the softness factor of a yarn, and I always use Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver, just this one, right here, as a base for what a value acrylic feels like. And now I do that only because when I think of yarn of a value acrylic, I think most people, not everybody, but most people know what Red Heart Super Saver feels like, because it's just, the most common one. So, you know, when I think about Red Heart Super Saver, I've had a lot of different, over the years, different thoughts, not myself, but people telling me their thoughts on Red Heart Super Saver, and everybody has their own opinions on it, and that's great, because I always say that's what makes us unique. That's what makes the world go round. How boring it would be if we were all the same. When it comes to Red Heart Super Saver, with me, I have no problem with Red Heart Super Saver. Some people won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I don't care. I have no problem at all with the Red Heart Super Saver. And I can tell you why. Like I said, the color range and the variety range is remarkable. You're never going to find another yarn that has that amount of colors and varieties under the same name. I mean, you won't. You can look all day, you'll never find it. Never in a million years. Is it the softest yarn? No, it's not. Is it a good value for your money? Yes, very, very good value for your money. It's very durable as well. It's a very durable acrylic yarn. It's one of those yarns that, if I had things that I crocheted with it when I was 10, I would still have them, and they would, they would just, maybe some fading would have took place if I would have washed it over and over, but it would still be extremely intact and in excellent, really good condition. That's just, it is a very durable, long-lasting yarn, a good value for the money. So, like I said, I don't have any problem with Red Heart Super Saver. In fact, I use it all the time. I don't just crochet tutorials. I crochet myself off camera, and I buy Red Heart Super Saver a lot. I have no problem with it. I think that it's the value for your money, and it's just the variety that they offer, such as ombres and stripes and everything. And the color palette is just so remarkable. Any color, they have any color I could ever want. So now the only downfall that I would say Red Heart Super Saver has is it is a bit stiff. But that's easy to take care of. So you crochet with it. Now I know some people can't crochet with it because it's stiff. It feels stiff going through their fingers. So some people have told me. Understandable, I can understand how that might be. That isn't, in my case, it doesn't happen with me. Good old Red Heart Super Saver. Yes, it's a stiff yarn. It's a stiff yarn. You're crocheting with it though. It gives you nice stitch definition in your stitches, and I'm going to contribute that to it being a little bit stiffer of a yarn. Honestly, I think maybe that helps when it comes to, like, if I was to make baubles and cables with it, it's it's a bit stiffer. They're gonna hold their place quite well because it's a stiffer yarn. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of my thinkings on the stitch definition of a Red Heart Super Saver. Now, like I said, it comes in many varieties. Now, their newest variety that they just came out here with is their Super Saver Speckled. Now, when I first got this, I first seen it, wasn't long ago, they just came out with this. I think they have 5, maybe 6 colors of it. Thought it was pretty. But and I thought it felt okay. But then I realized that it was actually stiffer. Well, to me, to my hands, everybody feels yarn differently. To my hands, it was actually stiffer than a regular Red Heart Super Saver. It felt stiffer, and I'm like, I didn't think anything could really, as far as value acrylic go, I guess if you're talking Super Saver line, could get stiffer than their regular OG Super Saver. But they did it. They got something even stiffer. That's some stiff yarn. And a lot of the stiffness of a yarn does have to do with the dyes that are being used. So I think darker colors sometimes tend to be a little bit stiffer maybe than lighter colors. Although this is white, it is still stiffer than that black one that I just showed you. Is that a problem? No, it's not. I'm going to tell you why. For me, I'm going to tell you why. Stiff acrylic yarn. I don't care. I don't care if it's stiff. You know why? Put it in a washer. Put some fabric softener in it. Put some laundry soap in it. Wash it. Put it in the dryer with some dryer sheets. Here it is. Comes out like a nice soft yarn. Here it is. This is the speckled, the stiffest Super Saver yarn that I myself have ever personally felt. Wash and dry with puffs nonetheless, which makes it would make it even stiffer. Out of the washer and dryer, as soft as can be. So that's why I don't care that it's stiff. I think it being stiff at first, remember this is just my opinions, it being stiff at first helps with the creation of stitch definition. You know, it's stiff, it holds your bobbles in place, it holds your cables in place. And then, you know, I know that if I wash that yarn with some fabric softener or whatever and dryer sheets, that it's going to become soft. I know that because I've done it multiple times. And this is a prime example right here. This is the new speckled yarn. Extremely stiff. It was stiff. I mean, it was like super stiff. But put it in a washer and dryer with some fabric softener, it's no longer stiff. It's a nice soft blanket. Not only is it nice and soft, this thing right here is going to last a lifetime because it's made with the good old-fashioned Red Heart Super Saver that, in my opinion, it ain't never going out of style. So, for all those who ask, do I use it like Red Heart Super Saver? Well, the answer is yes. There's nothing that I don't like about it. I think about it, you know, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't. Some people won't even give it the time of day, which I think is unfortunate. I try to give most yarns at least a try, but a yarn like Red Heart Super Saver that's been around, you know, for decades and will be around till the yarn is no more, deserves at least one try if you've never tried it. You know, make sure you wash it though with some fabric softener. You're going to notice that it softens right up. You're going to notice that. But yes, I use it. I like it. I have no problem with it. And like I said, I mentioned the reasons why I like it, the color range, the variety range. I kind of like it that it's stiff when you use it for the stitch definition purposes. I love that it softens up. I know it does. So, it's just one of those yarns, you know. The value is there. You can't beat the price. I've seen a lot of people talk down other people that use Red Heart Super Saver because it's an inexpensive yarn. No one should do that. Because there's nothing, for one, there's nothing wrong with Red Heart Super Saver. Not one thing wrong with it. And, you know, that personal opinion, everybody's different. But some people can only get Red Heart Super Saver because it is a good value for the money. So I always hate seeing that. And I see that sometimes in my comment section. You know, people making fun of others because they use Red Heart Super Saver. What in the world is wrong with Red Heart Super Saver? Can anybody tell me in the comment section? I know everybody has their own opinion. So this is what I want to know. You know mine. I told you I like it. I have no problem with it. I do have a tutorial for this. If you want to look under my blanket section, I got one. And for that blanket back there too. Anyways, for those of you that don't like Red Heart Super Saver, please tell me why. Maybe you don't like it because it's an acrylic. Some people don't use acrylic yarns. Okay, I understand that. Some people only want to use natural fibers. If that's your thing, that would be your reason. I would find that to be justifiable. But to make fun of others for using it is not, there is nothing that can justify that. That's intolerable. But I just want to know, like, if you've tried it and you didn't like it, like, what was your reasoning? Not, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer in it. I'm just super curious. Because, you know, like I said, everybody has their own opinions. And if you have tried it and you like it, what's your reasonings for liking it? I'm interested in that too. You know, now this isn't meant, this isn't meant to be a bad video. This is just meant for me to tell you my thoughts on Red Heart Super Saver, because a lot of people asked. You know, it's just an old yarn. It's been around forever. It ain't going nowhere. They're only going to keep adding to the collection. So yeah, I like it. And it's just, you like it, you love it, or you love it, you hate it, or you're in the middle. You know, maybe I might use it for this project, but it's really not my favorite. That's how some people are. Some people won't even, like I said, try it or give it the time of day. But everybody's personal decision on what yarn they use. So, the purpose of this video was to give you my thoughts on Red Heart Super Saver, and I did. I like it. I use it. I told you everything about it. What's your thoughts on it? Whether you like it or whether you don't like it. Tell me those reasons why. I'm curious. Just out of sheer curiosity on my part. I'm not putting anybody down. I do not give a crud what yarn you use for your projects. I'm not the type of person to shame people for using yarn, because I'll use the cheapest yarn to the most expensive yarn. In every yarn that falls in between. I'm not a yarn snob, nor do I care about what other type of yarns people use. Why would I care? I'm not using the yarn. I use what I like. Some projects call for Red Heart Super Saver. Some projects I make will call for a nice, expensive cashmere. It depends on what I'm making. It depends on how much money I have at the time. Really, on the yarn that I buy. I imagine that goes for a lot of people. So, like I said, I don't care whether you use it or not. It's none of my business, and really, I really don't care. I'm just curious what you like about it, or what you don't like about it. Because remember, it's never going away. But I would be interested in hearing your thoughts about it. So I told you mine. You tell me yours. Leave it in the comments. All right? I'm interested. But please don't shame anybody in the comments if they say that they love it and that's all they use. I'm cool with that. If Red Heart Super Saver was all there, was how can I put this? I'm very blessed, and I know this, that I'm able to buy yarns that I like. Like I said, like cashmere and stuff. I know that I am extremely blessed in that way. But if I was only able to use Red Heart Super Saver, it wouldn't bother me. Not one bit. I'd be using that. I'd just be using it all the time. They got so many colors, varieties. Keep me busy forever. It wouldn't bother me one bit. I'd just be Red Heart Super Savering it up all day long. And that's what I would do. So, I'll see you guys on the next video. Alright. Hey, look for the tutorial for this blanket. Give it a good washing. And then it's soft. Nice, heavy, safe for winter. Alright? Very, very pretty. I'll see you guys later.